Hey guys, welcome to the other episode, the next episode of CG Market Watch. And today's topic is crypto off to a strong start in 2019. Do you agree? And I think we are in a very unique space. And there have been a lot of news coming today, yesterday. And BTC movement has been erratic lately. We have of course went up to about $4,130 or so yesterday, and right now we're back to $4,010. So we've been going through so much volatility in the last few days, but I think it will come to a point of certain breakthrough, right? It will come to a point where we will move in huge significant percentage, and I'm waiting for that to happen. Are you waiting for that to happen? Hey Calvin, hey Santosh, and we shall begin. Alright, so let's go to CoinMarketCap first as always, and let's talk about what is happening to the market cap. Alright, so as of here, what we do see is that market cap, we are at 137 billion, where's my mouse? Okay, so 137 billion, and 24 hours volume is at 25 bill, and BTC dominance is currently at 51.6%. Now, for you guys who have been with me for a while, we do know that we have always been looking at BTC dominance, right? Because it tells a story. So BTC dominance is currently at 51.6. A few days ago, it was in fact at 51.5, right? 51.5, 51.7, but it's now at 51.6. So there isn't a huge difference between the Monday stats or statistics and compared to today. Now, we also do see that most of the different tokens, at least for the top 10, we are all in green. Of course, SV is not doing that well. It just kind of dwindled down. It's just hiding in the shadow nowadays. We don't really talk about SV or ABC so much nowadays. But ADA did make some huge moves. Personally, not really looking into ADA as of now. Binance Coin went up very nicely, 8.29%. I think there was a great upside. NEO went up by 12.28 as well. ETC of course went down significantly because because it actually went through a hack, right? So I think you guys who have been reading, you all should know it just got attacked. It was a 51% attack. And some exchanges have to close it, to stop deposit and withdrawal, and to stop trading it, to prevent the double replay, alright, to prevent double spending on that. So that is happening. The rest of it, USDC of course went down slightly, Wave slightly as well, Dogecoin. So just a normal day in crypto, right? Some movement here and there. So it's kind of very hard to be capturing everything at one shot. Okay, so of course when we look at the top 50, so Holo Coin went up 24.53%. What do you know, right? This is basically the market cap as of now. Okay, now I think the greatest discussion as of today, today is the 9th of January. The other thing that we should be looking at is Ethereum, right? So why am I talking about Ethereum? Now there's a fork coming in 2 days time, which is on 11 January, which is Classic Visions fork. On top of that, we also have the Constantinople upgrade, right, which is happening on 16 Jan, that's coming. But we don't see much movement on Ethereum's chart. Okay, so that is uniquely the situation right now. So what I want to cover today's news, okay, for today's news is it's two main news, I would say. Number one, it's a rumor, okay, it's not proven, but it's just some of the articles. It is saying that Russia will buy $10 billion in Bitcoin. Okay, so 10 billion is quite a significant amount, right? You compare that to the market cap of the market cap of BTC is actually a huge amount. Okay, and this is just a rumor, right? Some economists is saying that because of all the sanctions that's being placed in Russia or on Russia per se, it is causing and it's forcing Russia to diversify. So in fact, currently these are the different global assets that we have all around the world, and it is kind of believed that with the sanction and isolation impacting Russian economy, the Russian government is actually considering kind of just hedging out into BTC or just diversifying into BTC. And the central bank of Russia is sitting on $466 billion worth of reserves. It's one of the top, if I'm not wrong, 12. Yeah, it's the world's 12th largest economy. So putting 10 billion into Bitcoin out of 466 bill, it's actually a very small amount. But this diversification is actually good for the economy per se. But is Russia really gonna do it? That's the greatest question. In fact, President Vladimir Putin did give a speech, right, saying that regarding to our American partners placing limitations, including on dollars transactions, they are thinking that it undermines the trust in the dollar as a reserve currency. So for those who don't know, a lot of countries actually place US dollars as a reserve currency, as well as gold. Alright, in fact, China holds a lot of gold as their reserve currency. So with that being said, will there be a chance that Russia is really diversifying to BTC? Right, only time will tell. Right, so a lot of countries are really looking into it. Now, the other news that I have for you guys today, which I think is pretty fascinating, is about Buck. So Buck, why a successful launch could boost the cryptocurrency market? Now, with me talking about all this news, does it mean that I'm on a bullish sentiment right now? Okay, so for me personally, I would think that we are kind of on a short-term bullishness. Maybe overall we're still in a bearish way, in the bearish terms, in a bearish range. There are a lot of different analysts saying that if we don't breach above 160 billion in terms of market cap, if we don't hit above 200 billion in terms of market cap, we cannot conclude that we're in a bullish market, right? So we can still be considered as a bearish market. But what can potentially push the market? There's only two as of now. One is Buck, and of course the other one is the ETF, right? The VanCheck's ETF being approved. But currently, because the federal government in the US is being shut down for the period of time, even museums are closed in the US. And so with that being said, will the decision of the ETF come true? Will it come in time to push the market? So that's the other question that we have to clarify. Will SEC even approve VanCheck's ETF? That's another question. But as of now, good news. Buck, just raised about 180 plus $1 million, which is a huge amount. And in fact, one of the greatest, one of the top countries, one of the top billionaires in the world, it's actually coming in to invest in this particular Buck. Alright, so let me just pull out the news for you guys. Give me a minute. Alright, here we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, so in any case, with regards to this news, what you realize is, okay, sorry, this is a wrong article. Give me a minute. It's this one. Okay. So anyway, world's 23rd richest man invests in cryptocurrency exchange Bucks. Alright, in fact, first funding round. So it is actually supported by Li Jiacheng or Li Ka-shing, a renowned Hong Kong billionaire, one of the wealthiest men on the planet. He is actually leading the investment round for Buck. So Buck has actually raised about 180 mil. And in fact, he has actually attracted heavyweight, both tech and venture capital investors, include Boston Consulting Group, Microsoft Venture Capital Arm, and Nespor, and PayU, and even Buck, right? So, and all these companies are coming in to invest into Buck's development, right? In fact, investors are recognizing Buck's potential, and Buck's plan to launch a digital asset platform will host institutional-grade futures contracts for Bitcoin and other crypto. Seems to have resonated well with investors. Alright, so Li Ka-shing's Horizon Ventures was joined by different companies: CMT Digital, Eagle 7, Galaxy Digital, Goldfinch Partners, Protocol, Pantera Capital, Protocol Ventures. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of different companies backing it. Okay, so physically delivered crypto futures will set Buck apart from their competition, and rival exchanges CME and CBOE settle their contracts in fiat. So that is the fundamental difference, right? So Buck contracts will be warehoused and cleared through ICE US-based futures exchanges and clearinghouse. So what we're looking forward is the launch of Buck contracts on January 24th, as spoken by Buck's spokesperson. So in fact, last month it was actually supposed to launch last month, but the beta was delayed to 24th Jan, right? In fact, it was on November that was supposed to launch, but it didn't go through. And in fact, November and December was really a bad period, right? When BTC hit a new low. So I guess because of that, they do not want to kind of push it out, right? So, blame regulatory setbacks for the delay, alright? But in any case, we would be looking at a beta version being launched on 24th Jan. So is that the reason why the market is really being propelled? Is the market really moving because of that? Okay, so I think that's one of the greatest questions that we should be asking, and we are about 14 to 15 days away from Buck launch. Alright, so will BTC price move at that point in time? Will it hit a particular high in conjunction with all the institutions coming in using Buck's software or network or even a platform to trade? So that is also my question that I've been wondering a lot. Alright, but as of now, one of the money managers, Bill Miller, actually did say, right, Bitcoin can be worth a lot or zero. So one of the reasons, I think it's interesting when Mueller claimed that he's actually a Bitcoin observer and he's not a bull, right? And in fact, he actually invested 1 billion in Bitcoin at the peak of Bitcoin's price. Okay, so he actually invested in that, and he had to pull away a small amount from the company to kind of just reduce in that sense due to the prolonged bear market. All right, so in fact, he's saying that it is an interesting technological experiment. But you know, investors shouldn't dismiss it easily. All right, why? It's because there is a potential Bitcoin. All right, but yet one of the reasons why he say it's interesting is because BTC has no correlation whatsoever to the stock market. Right, so is that true? I think this basically summarizes everything. Right, when Bitcoin peaked in December of last year, the stock market peaked in January 2018. It went down for 4 or 5 weeks, then rallied through September 2018. But for cryptocurrency market or for Bitcoin, we were down all the way to December, right? So the correlation was actually kind of negative, and that's how he kind of concluded. So with that being said, he kind of mentioned that, you know, perhaps Bitcoin would then be of a good, you know, kind of good hedge out of the market itself, right? So in any case, okay, let's talk about chart quickly, right? Before I get to some questions here. Now for BTC, as of now, what we do see that in terms of prices is that we are seeing some consolidation at this point in time. It's a strong, I would say, it's a consolidation that we are kind of expecting, right? After such a huge rally, impulse wave up, it's kind of just consolidating. It kind of broke out of the channel, and right now we're just consolidating slightly. And you know, looking at these candles here, you kind of realize that, hey, every time it kind of dipped a little, you realize that it gets buy back very quickly. So that's why it's forming very long tail candles. Okay, so all these long tail candles kind of propel the charts forward. Now we can also take a look at the rally that happened yesterday. That's for Singapore at least. You realize that this candle went up all the way to about $4,112 on Bitstamp on 4 hours chart, and kind of just dipped. Okay, so that was kind of sad, but you realize that the buyback, when it hit about 3948, it kind of just went up again, and the buyback is furious. The buyback is ferocious, it's fierce. But the other thing I want to mention quickly is that this particular buyback that you see right here actually happens in less than a split, I wouldn't say split second, but it happened in less than 5 minutes. So when the price went down all the way to 3950, it happens in minutes. How would I know, or how do I know? This is a secret. When I was driving, I was loading my exchange at the site. Okay, it's a very dangerous, guys. Disclaimer: do not do this. This is non-financial advice and non-driving advice. But I was looking at the price, and you know, I had to stop my car at the site of just in order for me to just set my orders and adjust it, because I saw the prices fluctuating huge. You know, it was just so that happened in split seconds. By the time I realized it, and I barely traveled at least 1 km, and by the time I realized it, I was stopping at close to a roundabout area, and I just stopped there, and I was just looking at the charts. Damn, like it's over, like it just got buyback so quickly. So this is what is happening in the market, right? And right now, even when you're looking at different platforms, you realize that there are kind of more shorters than longers, which is kind of strange. But you know, when we look at technical wise, when we look at Ichimoku Cloud, we look at Elliott Wave, we look at different chart patterns as well, we realize that perhaps this is just a consolidation for a larger movement. All right, so you know, we talk about OBV, we talk about volume, we're kind of dipping slightly, of course, due to the consolidation, but overall long run we're still kind of up, right? Looking at RSI, we're still kind of up as well, even though we're looking at a downward trending here, but you do see that it's kind of forming a symmetrical triangle, and therefore the movement will come soon, right? I don't know how soon it will come, but it will, right? Volume has to pick up in order for that to happen. Now, of course, on top of that, my favorite, it's still above Kumo Cloud, it's still above Ichimoku Cloud per se, and so the upward action is still there. Alright, so that's the good point, that's the good thing to note. Chico span is still up above all the candles, so we are still in a good play, we are still in good, and we are still above EMA 200, okay, and that's a pretty good sign, I would say. Alright, so going to the charts, when we are looking at what we are looking currently, right? Okay, so what should we be looking out for? Alright, now we do see that this particular line I draw at 3976, right, at this line. Now this is actually the intersection between the previous kind of support and together with the diagonal trend line. So this is much like a support level that we have to breach, right? And it did breach, it did went down a little bit, and you can see the buyback is huge. Alright, it's quite fierce because it kind of forms a double bottom, if you can see that. Alright, so it's a struggle to see that, but if you can see this, it's kind of like a double bottom. So only if we breach this once again and it doesn't form a triple bottom, if we breach this at 3976 and it goes down, perhaps we will reach the 39,000 level, alright, or it may even hit the Senko span at about 3933 or 3950. That may happen as well. So it's all about probability here. It's all about what may happen, and it's really very hard to chart as of now. So if we just were to just pull out, you know, we just ignore some of the particular wicks right here, we do see that it's kind of forming a channel once again. Okay, so once we break out of this channel with a candle like this, there may be more upside to come. Alright, so let's just see what will happen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the next candle, the next ninth candle will be telling us what will the next trend be. So I think in the next few hours there will be some decisive move coming from BTC as well. So let's just see what will happen. Alright, so but particularly for me right now, my own personal point of view, non-financial advice, I'm looking at upward action as of now. Okay, let's look at Ethereum then. Now, I've been talking about Ethereum for quite a while. It's kind of boring, but well, we only have BTC and F mainly, right? So, and also because one more extra information is that the forks are coming, right? And I think it's important to know about that. Alright, so let's refer to the chart now. So we do see a different formation as of now. We do see kind of like a head and shoulders formation, like I mentioned to the group as well. So this is more like the head, the shoulders, and therefore there was a slight decline. It got supported by EMA 50 and the cloud. So this was actually a good region to enter. But currently we are kind of heading down once again. So my point of view is this now, because the BTC action, or a lot of people are talking about BTC as of now. So you do see that comparing the charts between Ethereum and BTC, you can see that the space between the clock and the charts are pretty far away. So that's actually kind of like a good sign. As compared to what F is doing, it's closing to the cloud. It's kind of not a good thing that we want to happen because it may also breach down, right? Now, one of the reasons why this is happening for those who are holding on to Ethereum still is partly because of the upward movement of about 80% ever since the announcement of the fork. So with the fork coming, the particular pump was already priced in. So once it's priced in, it hit a high of about $160, but that was all it can do. That was all its movement, and then we started dipping from there. But does it mean that F may not rally anymore? Now that I'm unsure as well. But based on the charts as of now, basing on this particular point of view, you can see that it's above Kumo Cloud, it's above EMA 50, it's very well supported. So we may still see some upside action. In terms of volume, I would just honestly say, comparing Ethereum's volume and BTC volume, we can say that it's kind of still very, very flat. Right, there isn't really much movement. Now, I wouldn't just conclude whether there's a divergence, whether there's a convergence yet, but you can still see RSI is still down, volume is still low. So as of now, if you compare between Ethereum and BTC, I'm still more towards BTC. Alright, so last of all, let's just take a look at Litecoin as well. Right, so Litecoin has enjoyed certain movement lately, so let's just take a look at it. So for Litecoin wise, of course, this is kind of like due to a tweet from Charlie Lee and some random movements here and there, and also partly because halving is coming soon. So all the different tokens are kind of like pumping off nowhere, right? But as of Litecoin, what we do see that is that we're kind of forming a double top formation. Some people may also say this is an inverse head and shoulder. I personally look at it more as a double top. You can see how the fractal actually just shows that this is more like a double top situation. So we may kind of be dipping quite soon. Alright, so if you were to compare between Litecoin and also Bitcoin's chart wise, you realize that Litecoin on 4 hours of course looks healthier than compared to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is just consolidating downwards, alright, but this is much like a consolidated bull flag, right, that may happen. But Litecoin is really more of a strength movement, right? It's still rallying in that sense. But will there be further action? Will there be more upside? As of now, looking at most of the charts, you realize that RSI is kind of dipping, right? It's still low in that sense. When it comes to volume, we're kind of rising. So is this really a divergent situation? Will there be more upside? Only time will tell. But personally, when I'm looking at Litecoin just based on technical analysis, not basing on any forms of tweet that we cannot predict, Litecoin does seem to have more further upside. Alright, but would I trade it? Not really. I'll be focusing more on BTC. Alright. So that is all from me. But I think last of all, we want to take a look at this. So remember when I was talking about it on Monday of how BTC volume is being sucked out from the different altcoins. So currently what you realize that because of BTC consolidation, you realize that more and more BTC are flowing into the altcoins, and therefore you realize the altcoins are kind of pumping or moving more as compared to BTC per se. But it will come a moment once again when people want to take profit, they will most likely shift it out towards BTC, right? That's when you start seeing BTC rallying again. So the moment when BTC starts moving again, you see what will happen is that people will start taking profit off their altcoins into BTC again, and this correlation would then be in the opposite. That means there will be more red as compared to greens. So that is how you actually can use some of the exchange information to kind of gauge what is the sentiment in the market, right? So that helps a lot when it comes to trading as well. All right, so come to the end of the CG Market Watch. So I'm just wondering if there's any question. Okay, so let me just take a look. Okay, so we'll talk about Tron. Not much comments about Tron personally. I don't really trade Tron as well. I think it's really a hype token, and just referring to CoinMarketCap, you look at its line graph in that sense. It's very erratic. All right, so when it comes to trading and investment, it's all about probability. It's all about understanding and knowing what you're doing. And looking at Tron and understanding Tron, it doesn't motivate me to trade it at all because I know nuts about it. That's one. And the second reason is because it's all about hype here, right? So when, example, Justin Sun were to tweet something, now we are partnering with CoinMarketCap, we're partnering with Logitech, we're partnering with Sony, we're partnering with Captain America, doesn't mean we're gonna pump, right? So that's what he always assumes, right? So in any case, I just hate the hype play. Now I basically look at fundamentals more because when shit hits the fence, at the end of the day, when a funds is being created in the future, would you consider putting BTC or Bitcoin or Ethereum into a fund, or would you consider putting Tron into a fund? When analysts really look into it, when they realize that nothing is behind it, you will know we will reach that stage sooner or later. In the next 2-3 years time, or even 5 years, when the fund or ETF is being approved and created, maybe at that point in time you will know who is swimming naked. We will know by then. Alright? So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on Friday. Take care. Safe investing.
For more crypto related content, check out our website now.